It happened in the 70s in winter, on the day after St. Nicholas's Day. There was a fete in the parish, and the innkeeper, Vasily Andreevich Brekunov, a second guild merchant, being a church elder, had to go to church, and had also to entertain his relatives and friends at home. But when the last of them had gone, he at once began to prepare to drive over to see a neighbouring proprietor about a grove which he had been bargaining over for a long time. He was now in a hurry to start, lest buyers from the town might forestall him in making a profitable purchase. The youthful landowner was asking 10,000 rubles for the grove, simply because Vasily Andreevich was offering 7,000. 7,000 was, however, only a third of its real value. Vasily Andreevich might perhaps have got it down to his own price, for the woods were in his district, and he had a long-standing agreement with the other village dealers that no one should run up the price in another's district. But he had now learned that some timber dealers from town meant to bid for the Goryakin Grove, and he resolved to go at once and get the matter settled. So, as soon as the feast was over, he took 700 rubles from his strongbox, added to them 2,300 rubles of church money he had in his keeping, so as to make up the sum to 3,000, carefully counted the notes, and having put them into his pocketbook, made haste to start. Nikita, the only one of Vasily Andreevich's labourers who was not drunk that day, ran to harness the horse. Nikita, though an habitual drunkard, was not drunk that day because, since the last day before the fast, when he had drunk his coat and leather boots, he had sworn off drink and had kept his vow for 2 months, and was still keeping it, despite the temptation of the vodka that had been drunk everywhere during the first 2 days of the feast. Nikita was a peasant of about 50 from a neighbouring village, not a manager, as the peasants said of him, meaning that he was not the thrifty head of a household, but lived most of his time away from home as a labourer. He was valued everywhere for his industry, dexterity and strength at work, and still more for his kindly and pleasant temper. But he never settled down anywhere for long, because about twice a year, or even oftener, he had a drinking bout, and then, besides spending all his clothes on drink, he became turbulent and quarrelsome. Vasily Andreevich himself had turned him away several times, but had afterwards taken him back again, valuing his honesty, his kindness to animals, and especially his cheapness. Vasily Andreevich did not pay Nikita the 80 rubles a year such a man was worth, but only about 40, which he gave him haphazard, in small sums, and even that mostly not in cash, but in goods from his own shop, and at high prices.